everyone, and this is Climax here, and today we're going to be doing another pickup video, but this time it's Halloween edition, because, ooh. Yeah, and as you can tell, I'm kind of a ghost right now. In fact, this was supposed to be a mask I was supposed to wear with this, but the thing is, if I wore this while recording, you probably wouldn't be able to hear me right, so... There, happy now? Well, I don't know. Either way, though. It's a pretty cool looking mask, though. So, yeah, so we got this really cool looking setup, and every single game that I picked up from the month of October is in this really cool looking box. Well, not everything, but everything that can fit in here, because there are some things that I got that I was not expecting to get that were oversized, basically special edition games, but I'll get there when I get there. But of course, before we begin the video, I have some sticky notes with people's names on them, with people I added to the list of channels in my descriptions. So we got J-Rock, the game rocker, and then there's a Snow Nose Show. Yeah, that one's a bit of a tongue tie. And then there's Nostalgic Dan. All three great channels, great stuff. So of course, if you don't know who they are, I recommend you go check them out. So yeah, you know, I'm always updating on that type of stuff. And of course, we got the cool looking vodka skull, which was from the Halloween video that I did. And well. Yeah, it's a pretty good setup and whatnot, and, you know, by the way, in case you're wondering, no, I did not make this costume. I actually bought it from Walmart because, you know, this is when I'm going to be dressed up on Halloween day when I give out candy for all the kids that come by. But, yeah, no, I actually really like it, though. For a Walmart costume, it's pretty cool, I have to admit. So, yeah, how about we open up this Pandora's box? It says Trunk or Treats because that's a very horrible pun. So, yeah, let's open up this box. Alright, so the first game in this box is a PS3 game, which is on top, and it's, Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax, or, you know, what I like to call it is just Fighting Climax, because, well, that's just the easier title to say. So, yeah, this is a fighting game that is for the PlayStation 3, you can also get it on the Vita, and it was, published by Sega, which is pretty interesting. And, so yeah, it uses, it's a fighting game. It plays, the closest thing I can think of that it plays similar to is, Persona 4, the Arena, just because, like, if you press, like, the X button, you can, well, normally it's not summoning a persona, but in this case it's, like, summoning, like, your partner. Kind of similar to the Striker, mechanic that they had in, the King of Fighters games, or one of the King of Fighters games. I forget which one it was, but I think it was 99, but could be wrong on that, it's been a while. But yeah, this game is pretty fun, I really like it. Of course, if you actually like some of the animes that are in this game, which there's quite a few, like there's, well, I know there's Sword Art Online, which is probably one of the more popular ones, and then there's Black Bullet, there's the Magical Index, I think it is, and fuck, I can't remember the other one, but it's like Shana or something. It's like starts with an S and then Shana, I forget, but it's basically a girl with like a fire sword. That's like the thing that I remember. I used to watch that show when I was younger. And yeah, like there's some, like, yeah, like I said, like if you like any of the animes that are in here, you'll definitely like this. But if you don't know very much of them, like I only knew like a couple from, like before I played this, and you know, I mainly wanted it though, just because, you know, it just looked like a really fun fighting game, and, well, yeah, I think it's a really fun one. I mean, if not, though, there's actually some other cool references that there's actually stages that actually come from Sega games. Like, they have a stage that comes from Nights in the Dreams, there's a Sonic the Hedgehog stage, there's a Valkyrie Chronicles stage, there's a Shinobi stage. It's pretty sweet. Also, Akira, fuck, I can't remember his name there, but he's from Virtua Fighter, you know, the guy with like blue and red. I think his name is Akira, or you know, just like the movie. It's spelled like the movie, but yeah, he's actually playable in the game, which is really cool. So yeah, with that being said, I think it's a very interesting fighting game. I like it a lot myself. Very, very cool. Alright, so the next game is a PS2 game that I found at a thrift store very recently. I haven't played this one yet, but it looks cool, and that is Transformers on PS2. Now, I've never, well, I have seen this game before, but I don't really hear much people talk about this one, so I really can't say a whole lot about it, unfortunately, but, and I also haven't even tried it out yet, but I am looking forward to it, though, because, well, I like Transformers. It was one of the very few things that I grew up watching, and Yeah, sorry, I can't say a whole lot about it though, but the one thing I will say that is really cool is that I really can't wait to play, the newer one that just came out. I think it's called Transformers Devastation. Yeah, like, it looks all like the old style stuff. Like, that one looks really cool, so I can't wait to play that when I can. But, yeah, so for now, I'll just have to stick with this one for now, because this is the only, Transformers game I actually own, but still. Looks pretty cool, so hopefully it actually is. Also, it's published by Atari, which is kind of funny to think about. Next is another PS2 game that I found out the same one, but this one I actually did play for a bit, and that is Pac-Man World 3. Now, the Pac-Man, like, I never played any of the Pac-Man World games, but I have played some random spin-off games before from Pac-Man. Like, there's Pac in Time, which is on the Super Nintendo. That one's actually really fun. And then there's a really weird one on the Genesis, which you don't even take control of Pac-Man. You actually take control of a cursor. You have to, like, shoot stuff. It's fucking weird, but it's very, very funny, but weird. But yeah, as for Pac-Man World, I never played any of them except this one when I just played it for briefly, and I have to say it's actually quite good. It's sort of like Banjo-Kazooie in a sense, sort of, but it also does have some like Pac-Man elements. Like you can like you obviously you collect dots, and then there's gonna be parts in the game where you're gonna have to there's a bunch of enemies that you can't kill, so you have to go around in not really like a maze, but it's like a bunch of dots laid out like a maze, and then you have to get the big dots, eat up the enemies, all that good stuff. So it does have some elements that are originally like Pac-Man, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. I actually got this with the other Transformers game. There's also another PS2 game in the box. I got them for like $5 each, so it was at a newer thrift store I haven't been to yet, but I've ended up getting to it anyway. And also one thing that is interesting is that the person who does the voice of Pac-Man is, I can't remember his name, but he does the voice of Thomas the Tank Engine, which is pretty funny. Especially considering that Pac-Man in this game acts like a snarky asshole. It's pretty funny. So, you know, if you wanted to hear Thomas the Tank Engine sound like a snarky asshole, well, there you go. Now this next game is another PS2 game I found at the same place as those two, and that is Jaws Unleashed, which I guess you could say is sort of like a horror game. I mean, it's based after a horror movie, after all. A very classic one. And, well, I've played this one for a bit, and I have known about it before because I've watched people do videos on it. One of them being, you know, like James and Mike Plays, they've done a video on it. And there was another channel I've watched before that one. I can't remember the name of it there, but which really sucks because their stuff is fucking hilarious shit. But I don't know, maybe I might have to add them into the list once I remember them. But anyways, yeah, Jaws Unleashed is a pretty interesting game. It has a cool concept. I mean, you're playing as Jaws himself and you just have to fuck shit up. It seems great. Now, the only issue I have with the game is that the control is kind of awkward. I mean, it's not like the worst control I've ever seen in a game, but it could have been worked out better. But it's at least amusing for the most part, and it definitely does have the Jaws charm. But, I don't know, I mean, as much as, cool as this one is, I still enjoy playing the NES one every now and then. So, yeah, I don't know, it's just hard to say, but either way, though, they both have, their good points, and they both have their down points, but I think this one definitely has more of the charm to it, because, you know, you're actually taking control of Jaws, where in the other one you're taking control of some random guy, and you just have to shoot stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. It's an okay game, but it definitely has, the charm, like I already said. And then there's one, I think this is the last one that I got at that one thrift store, but this isn't a PS2 game, it was the only GameCube game that they had there. Guess someone must have taken all the other stuff, but this one is Animal Crossing on the GameCube, and well, I haven't played this one since I've owned it, but I have played it before. Yeah, they even have a little thing for e-readers, which is interesting. My cousin used to have one of those. But yeah, Animal Crossing, I mean, I've never owned the game until now, but I have played it many times because a friend of mine had it. Actually, I knew a lot of people that had this one. Well, it's basically just go around, you move into a town, and you live there, and everyone else is an animal, except you. Although, yeah, I always thought, like, your guy looked more like an elf, but I don't know. But, yeah, it's a very amusing game, to say the least. I mean, I haven't really, like, messed around with the Animal Crossing games. Like, this is the only one I've ever played, but I know a friend of mine has New Leaf, which does seem pretty good, but just haven't gotten around to it there. But pretty much one thing you gotta know is that this is, like, the game that pretty much never ends. Like pretty much if you like turn it, like, let's just say if you're playing for a bit, then you turn it off, then you go back to it in like a week or something, it'll like say like, hey, you haven't been on in like a week or whatever, and of course do not press the reset button, because if you do press the reset button, Mr. Resetti comes out and bitches at you for like non-stop. But I'm sure anyone that has played this game knows all this, so that's pretty much like a no-brainer. But in case you haven't, well, there you go. So, yeah, it's a very amusing game, and for $5, can't go wrong, because I've actually seen this game for like $20 like at a bunch of places, but seeing it for $5, definitely good. But I would have to mess around with this one a bit, and hopefully, like, in the future, I can actually get, like, the other Animal Crossing games, because like I said, like, New Leaf actually does look pretty fun. Alright, so, continuing right along, we got a Genesis game, and this is bought at an actual game store around here. And it is Shinobi III on the Sega Genesis, which is awesome, because, you know, you can't really go wrong with any of the Shinobi games. And, well, what can I say is that, well, for anyone that knows about Shinobi, this is probably my favorite Shinobi game that I've played, like, so far. I've only played the ones on the Genesis, and I've played the one on the Master System. I never played the one on the Saturn or the PS2, or if there's any other one that I'm missing, there's a good chance I probably haven't played it. But this one is probably my favorite out of the ones that I have played. I mean, like, I really like the addition with the jump kick. It's really amusing fun. I also really like... I pretty much like pretty much everything about this game. It's probably, like, one of the best Genesis games you can get. I mean, just really good action, good platforming. The game is also can be pretty tough at times, and also I really like the graphics, the music. It's just all great. All good stuff. And of course I paid $20 for this, which was really good, so I really wanted to get it for that because, well, I don't know how much this game usually goes around for, but all I do know is that I thought that seemed really good, and it's in really nice shape too when it comes with everything, so hey, can't go wrong there. But yeah, one thing I should mention is that a couple months ago, about like just shortly after I moved like out, I was actually having a conversation on Skype with my stepbrother, and he has the he doesn't have a Sega Genesis, but he has that weird Genesis system that has like all like the built-in games. And this is one game that was on there, and I remember we were like playing it together, like this exact game, but at the same time, though he was using that thing, well, at the time I was using an emulation because I didn't own this game until now, but yeah, no, I just thought I'd mention that because it's kind of ironic how that happened, but seriously though, that was actually a really good time, very, very fun, because, you know, it's not very often I get to play a game like this with my brother very often, so, yeah, either way though, really awesome game. If you haven't played it, I recommend you to go play it. I don't care how you do it, just play it. Alright, another Sega game, and this is one I also got at the game store, but this one was a bit more, and this one is Bangai-O on the Sega Dreamcast. Now, this is a game, it costed me about like $60, which I thought actually wasn't that bad considering it has everything, and everything is actually in pretty nice shape. I mean, the case isn't in, like, it has like a big like cut thing right there, but you know, that's not a big deal for me, but yeah, this is definitely a game I don't see around too often, and the first time I ever heard about it was someone I knew named the Heavy Metal Gamer Show. He did a video on this game, but he did the N64 version, which was only released in Japan, but he also did say that there was a Dreamcast version, and he said it was also hard to come by, and, well, yeah, it is hard to come by, but I did found it eventually, and, well, now that after I'm playing this game, it's very, very fun, but also very, very challenging. So it's basically like a shoot 'em up, but it's like very unique. Like, it's not like a shoot 'em up where it like scrolls around. You can like move around freely, and you have to just go through a maze, and you just have to blow the shit out of like everything. In fact, on the back here it says, "Have the time of your life making billions of things explode," and that's pretty much about it, really. It's really fun though. It's very amusing, and like I said, it's really challenging. And one thing that I do like is that the game has a lot of humor in it. Like whenever you die and you get a game over, and then when you continue, it shows like a really funny picture. Can't really describe the picture, but it's like a bunch of random shit going on. But the words on it says it was only a dream. Pretty much meaning that like everything that you just happened where you died was like it's pretty much it's self-aware that it knows that it's it knows that like it didn't actually happen. It's just funny. I don't know. I like that kind of humor. So yeah, definitely a really good game, really fun, like I already said, but yeah, definitely like well worth $60 in my opinion. Also, unfortunately, I don't get as much Dreamcast games as I would like, but that one was definitely well worthy. Now, there's only 2 more games in this box, but don't worry, it's not going to be over so soon. And this was another game that I got at the same place, though of course I got them at different times though, and this one was Supernova on the Super Nintendo, which is another shoot 'em up, but from Taito. And if I remember right, I think this is a part of one of the series that they've done. I'm not sure if it's a part of the like the Darius series, but I do know it is related to the game Metal Black, which is a really fun one. But anyways, with that aside, this game is also very fucking fun, and one thing I gotta say is that the graphics in this game is very fantastic for a Super Nintendo game released in 1993, I believe, which is the year I was born. So yeah, this game just looks really, really cool. Like the backgrounds look very amazing. I also really like the way how your ship moves. Like you know, when you move like up and down, it like you actually see it like tilt. I know they've done games like that before, but just with this game, it just makes it's just that extra push that just makes it look, like, really, really nice. I don't know. Like, I know I'm not much of a graphics scorer or anything like that, but it's just a very nice looking, like, pretty early looking, Super Nintendo game, and it's also very fun. I also like the fact that you can, like, change, like, your pathways, like, if you complete a level, much like Star Fox. In fact, these 2 games actually came out in the same year, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, this game is definitely really fun. I got this game for how much was it? I think it was like 15. Yeah, somewhere around there. Wasn't like a lot, and that was like one of the reasons why I wanted to get it, because it was cheap, and not only that, but the game looked really fun, because I have heard about it before, and well, I am a fan of shoot 'em up, so yeah, definitely a good one to add. So the last game in the box, and yeah, this is the other one that can fit in here, and this is another game I got at the same time as Supernova, and this one is an NES game known as Puss in Boots. Well, it's actually called, the full title is Puss in Boots: Perrault's Great Adventure. Yeah, it's a very cartoony looking game, but yeah, this is a game I probably, like, if I was around, like, if I was born when this game, like, came out, this would have been a game I probably would have, like, loved to own, because as a kid, I actually used to love the story Puss in Boots. I don't know why I did, but I did. So, yeah, like, because of that, I really wanted to get this game. Also, I have played it on emulation before, and it's actually a decent game. I know some people say it's not like that great, but I don't know, I think the game's actually not bad. It does have a lot of variety, which I like. Like, I mean, there's like the typical platform stages, and then there's the stages where you're like flying around in like a plane, and then there's some stages where you fly around. Well, you don't fly around, but you are in like a submarine, and then there's one in the hot air balloon, but that level's fucking hard as hell, and it's just a pain in the ass. But yeah, no, it's an alright game. I mean, it's not like the greatest thing you'll ever play, but it's definitely not the worst thing ever. In fact, it's made by the same people that made what was it there, Fist of the North Star on the NES, which, as you know, that game isn't very good, but it's playable, but just not very good. But this one is definitely better than that, or at least I think it's better than that. Also, it has a lot of the same sound effects too, which is pretty amusing. But yeah, I got this game for $10, which I thought was really good. It's also another game I just don't see very often either, but it is a very cheap game. It's one of those games where it's not expensive, but you just don't see it around often. It's just weird like that. But still, there's a lot of other games like that that I would like to get eventually, that are in that price range, but just you don't see them very often. But either way though, it's a decent game, but hey, I mainly got it though just because, you know, it was just one of those like stories that I grew up like reading, listening to. So yeah, there's nothing more in here, but don't worry guys, we got 3 more stuff. So the next 3 games are games that are part of collector's editions, and one of them was a collector's edition game I planned on getting. The other one was a game that I did plan on getting, but I wasn't expecting to get the collector's edition. They just happened to have a 1 left, and I just bought it like that. And then the other one, well, believe it or not, I actually found it like at the thrift store with the other PS2 games and the GameCube game, which was very, very surprising, but it did cost a bit more, I guess, because they knew it was going to be something special. But either way, though, so these next 3 things are, like I said, they're collector's editions, and I'll talk about them when I get there. And the first one I'm going to talk about is was the one that I found at the thrift store, and it is Magna Carta. Yeah, I believe it's called Magna Carta, and this is the deluxe box set, and as you can tell, the box has seen better days. It's very, very crappy looking, but at least it's still intact. But of course, it's just the, now this thing didn't come like complete. It only came with the game, and it also came with the art book. It didn't come with the, what else is it supposed to come with? It didn't come with the poster. It didn't come with the dual-sided cover sheet, and yeah, that was all it didn't come with. But it did have the book, but the book, like, it's in okay shape, but it's just the back of the book is like really messed up. But of course I'll talk about that when I do a video talking about unboxing some of these things, which I will be doing next month, so keep an eye out on that if you're interested. But yeah, I haven't got around to playing this one yet, considering I just got it not too long ago, and well, there's just so much things happening and such. But I will want to get to it though, because this is a game that a friend of mine told me about. Though when she played it, she played the second one on the 360, but I think that one was an exclusive to the 360 if I remember right, but I can't remember. But as for this one though, like, I was just wanting to play which one, so, I happened to found this one at the thrift store, and I was like, whoa, holy shit, really? And it costed about like $15, which, this isn't bad considering that, I mean, like, how often do you see shit like this at a thrift store? And not only that, but I know that it's in rough shape and it's not complete, but I mean, hey, at least the game is in there and all that stuff, and and it's in good, well, the game disc is in good shape. It's just the box is just like, yeah, it's not the greatest thing ever. Like, it looks like there's like some poured water on it. There's still like stickers right there. It's just like a mess, but yeah, so anyways though, can't wait to play this one when I can. I really like the art style of it though. And then the 2 other ones were ones that I got brand new. And this one is one that actually does suit this theme of a horror, and that happens to be Corpse Party Blood Drive on the PlayStation Vita. Now, like I said, I'm not going to do an unboxing of this just because there's just too much stuff, but of course I'll be doing the video on that. But yeah, this is a game I planned on getting because Floops900 told me about it, because this is a game I was not aware of until he told me about it, and I was like, huh, okay, I didn't know they were going to be making a game off Corpse Party, because I remember I watched a bit of the anime a couple of years ago, and I thought it was really cool. Really fucked up, but like, I mean, hey, it's the fucked up shit I kind of like, so I was like, hey, whatever. But I need to go watch that one again. I don't know, maybe I might do a review on it sometime in the future, one of these, in one of my futures, but anyways, we'll get there. But yeah, this game is pretty fucking good. I actually really like it. It's a survival horror mixed with visual novel, and yeah, I've been playing a lot of visual novel random games lately, or at least I have been. But yeah, this one is very interesting, not just because like the 2 put together, but also the way how the survival horror is done. Like, it's not like super duper scary or anything like that, but it has the, like, if I can compare it to any other survival horror, it probably plays more like Clock Tower, believe it or not, mainly because like you're like always like running away and you're hiding from stuff and you don't really have a way to defend yourself. Well, the only way you do have to defend yourself is by getting talismans, and then like when you shine the light at the shadows, they'll like disappear. But of course they're so limited, and you can't count on using them all the time. But for the most part, you have to like run and hide and such, which I like that because, you know, Clock Tower was all about doing that, and that was a really great game. So this game is a lot like that in a way, which I really like. But yeah, it's a very interesting game. The only 2 complaints I have about it is the loading and the fact that you don't really have a map and it's kind of hard to know where the fuck you're going. But I mean, I don't know, maybe there might be a map in the game later on, but man, if there is one though, I'm probably missing it somewhere. But either way though, it's a really good game. I really like it. If you own a PlayStation Vita and this sounds interesting to you, I would recommend you to go get it, because it's pretty interesting stuff. Even if you never watched the anime or anything like that, I think you will still find some things about it interesting. I don't know, maybe. But either way though, I think it's a really cool game. Alright, so for the last game, and this is one that you'll probably laugh at me about, but hey, that's all good. I mean, hey, I like stupid shit, so of course, let's get right into it. And this is a collector edition for Persona 4 Dancing All Night. Yeah, that's right, I got this, and like, the reason why I got this is because, well, I did have somewhat interest into the game, mainly because, well, you know, I like Persona, and I like rhythm games, and yeah, the game looked ridiculous as hell, but you know what, I kind of expected that, and of course I like ridiculous shit sometimes, so, of course I thought this game seemed very fitting for me. Now, the Collector's Edition, I got it because it was the last copy that they had at EB Games, and apparently someone pre-ordered it, but they canceled it for whatever reason. I don't know why. But either way, though, they canceled their pre-order, so they just had it there, and I was like, what? It's like, hey, are you selling that? And he's like, yeah, someone canceled the pre-order if you want it. I'm like, sure, okay. So yeah, this is it, and I have to admit, I really like the shininess of the box. It's really cool looking. Of course, we'll take a look at that in next month, hopefully, maybe. Because just so you know, when I do the unboxing videos, it's not going to be like one unboxing video where I unbox like everything I own. I'm going to do them in parts because, well, that'd just be a lot. And I don't know how exactly I'm going to do it, but you'll see in the future. But either way, though, this game, it is fun. Like, I mean, I like the gameplay aspects of it. I think it is a fun game, and it's also fucking hilarious as shit. But the story, though, is, yeah, it's probably one of the most, like, dumbest things ever. Well, it's not the dumbest thing ever, but it's, like, probably up there with one of the dumbest things ever. But it's at least amusing, and it is entertaining, and, well, yeah, like I said, it's really dumb, but it's funny. And at the same time, it does actually make sense with the main story, believe it or not, but yeah, it's very hard to believe. But either way, though, I mainly got this, though, just because, you know, like I already said, like, I like rhythm games, I like Persona. It just seemed like really up my alley in that sort of sense. And of course, like, some of the songs in the game are pretty good. I mean, I like some of the versions of the songs. Some of them I'm not really too big on. Like, I know there's like one version of a song that's all like dubstep-like, which, you know, I'm not a huge fan of, but whatever. A lot of the other songs in the game are pretty cool. Like, I don't know, like, I just like music all around. Like, I'm not really too picky with genres and all that type of stuff, which is probably why I might make mistakes. If I'm talking about, like, a band and, you know, I get, like the genre of it mixed up, like, if I don't know, like, an example there, but, which is, say, if I mix up, like, a genre of, like, a pretty obvious band and someone gets all, like, mad at me for that, I'd be like, I don't really care, I just like it because I just think it sounds awesome. But, yeah, anyways, though, yeah, it is a fun game, but of course, not for everyone. I think that's a key word here. This is not a game that should be played by every single fan of Persona, but of course, for someone like me, I like it because, you know, like I said, I like ridiculous shit. And that brings us to the end of the pickup video, and, well, yeah, definitely got some pretty wicked stuff, and, of course, like, I'm always happy about all this, and of course, Halloween this year should be a great one, considering that this area it seems to be pretty lively with Halloween decorations, where, believe it or not, when I lived in the big city from my old town, it was pretty much, like, dead. Like, we only got, like, 4 kids on, like, a street. It was pretty pathetic. But yeah, so hopefully this year should be a lot more fun, and of course, next year we're gonna try and do a big, we're gonna go really crazy on the decorations next year. We couldn't do it this year just because, you know, we just moved here and, you know, there just wasn't a whole lot of time, but either way, though, we'll still have fun this year. And of course, there's a good chance if you're watching this video, you're probably watching it after Halloween, because I'm gonna be uploading this on Halloween Day, because, as you know, I record ahead of time. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. Definitely some awesome things, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and of course, have a happy Halloween, and great videos are going to be coming up, so see you guys later.